I walk with God in perfect holiness. You walk with God in perfect holiness. What's good, fam? Today we are going to be studying lesson 156 of A Course in Miracles. We are going to affirm that we walk with God in perfect holiness whenever we feel like we are deviating from our source. Whenever we are not at peace, affirm to yourself, I walk with God in perfect holiness. And you will find that that is a powerful tool for you to use, because whenever you affirm that, you choose again. Me and you are choosing at all moments in time, like we've been discussing for the past few weeks. And whenever we are aware that we have chosen something that we wouldn't choose if we were in our right mind, just become aware of that. Don't beat yourself up for that, and then choose again. That's all it takes. I've chosen something that I wouldn't have done if I was awake. I choose otherwise now, and then follow the path of least resistance, because that is always where God will lead you. God will always lead you to the path of least resistance. Just let go of the oars and allow yourself to flow downstream, and you will be guided to where you need to be. The situations, the circumstances, the events, it will all play out so much better if you allow the orchestrator of all that is to guide you than if you try to orchestrate events and make stuff happen based off of your tiny little minuscule limited perception. Let's get out of our own ways, and let's finally, not only find, but let's remember who we really are. Let's remember that all we want is in the direction of truth, and nothing that we want is in the direction of fear at all. There is no evidence to the contrary of that statement, because fear has nothing to offer. Why would you follow a fearful teacher who has no idea where they're going? That's essentially who you're following when you're following yourself and you don't know who you are. In the times me and you believe that we're the body and we think that we know where we're going, but we are not aware of the truth that we're discussing here and now, we are following ourselves, and our best thinking got us to that situation we're trying to get ourselves out of, and it's going to be hamster wheel. So let's finally just let go of the oars and follow a guide who knows where we need and want to be. So go ahead and pull up to today's lesson if you're not there already, and if you don't got the book yet, the PDF is in the description. Let's go ahead and begin. Lesson 156. I walk with God in perfect holiness. Today's idea but states the simple truth that makes the thought of sin impossible. It promises there is no cause for guilt, and being causeless, it does not exist. It follows surely from the basic thought so often mentioned in the text: ideas leave not their source. If this be true, how can you be apart from God? How could you walk the world alone and separate from your source? Now, this thought is mentioned a lot in the text. It states, ideas leave not their source. And if this is true, which it is, how can me and you be apart from God? Me and you are an idea in the mind of God. And ideas cannot leave their source, meaning our source is God, and we cannot leave our source. Although we can think we can, we really can't in truth. How can we be apart from God? We can't. How could me and you walk the world alone and separate from our source? We don't. We are always together. There is no separation, because you may believe from time to time, I'm alone because there's not another body next to me. That is not the full story, because your senses, which you see, hear, smell, taste, and touch, are only giving you such a minuscule amount of data, and you're believing that that data is truth and all that is. And whenever we stop basing our knowledge off of this worthless data, and we remember that only truth is true, and we are never separate from anyone or everything or anything, we are never separate from any aspect of creation, including our source, then we feel a sense of peace, because we can never be alone, we can never lack anything, we can never be not enough, we can never be any of those attributes that you would think you are whenever you believe you're this self that's separate from who you really are. It's only whenever we believe that we are this tiny little self-image named this name, and who has this body, and who went to this school, and who did this profession, and who likes doing this thing and who doesn't like this. We have made this insignificant self-image for ourselves, and we believe that that is who we are. And today and forevermore, we are going to transcend that image because it is an illusion. Whenever you know who you really are, which is as God created, whenever you know that and you experience that, there is no way that you will ever want to go back to that insignificant self-image we made for ourselves. Because whenever you know who you are, there is no defending it because you know it's true. There's no trying to prove anyone right or wrong because you know who you are. And whenever you see anyone trying to do any of those things, it is a clear example that that individual doesn't know who they are. They think they know who they are. They think that they know who they are, but who they think they are is the self-image that they made apart from their source, and they're trying to defend that by any means necessary. They are trying to prove people right or wrong by any means necessary because that insignificant self-image definitely does need defense because it is not real. So you have to continue to perpetuate its existence, and whenever you stop perpetuating its existence, it will go back into the nothingness from which it emerged. But who you really are can never be abolished because it is what is. It is what God created, and God creates eternally and infinite, and it will forever be. Therefore, whenever we identify ourselves with who we really are, there is no strain. We allow the fullness of that beingness to flow through us, and our body remains vital, healthy. We remain joyous, we remain active, we remain at peace, abundant, secure, and every attribute that you can think of that you desire all come with knowing who you are. And those who don't know who they are looking for it in outside conditions where they will never find it. Let's go ahead and continue. We are not inconsistent in the thoughts that we present in our curriculum. That's another fact right there. The whole entire course, not only the lessons that me and you have been studying together, but the entire text, the manual for teachers, the entirety of this curriculum, there is no inconsistency in these thoughts. There is no one thing that it states in one part of the course and in another that contradict each other. This thought system is unified, and it is doing its best to convey something with words that is unable to be conveyed with words. This is an experience. Although me and you can be led to an experience with words, the words themselves will not get you there. It is an experience. It is a remembering. So the course does a very great job with getting us to this understanding, because look how far me and you have made it. Our understanding of this information is so out of the roof. It's so high leveled that we can never forget this. We can never forget what we know now. I hope you know that. So if you ever did want to, for whatever reason, go back to the old illusions, you could never go back now, because whenever you do go back, you're going to know that there's something missing, and you're going to know what's missing because of what we've been discussing here, and you just can't go back. Me and you are on the path now of truth, and we can no longer deny truth. We know too much. We know so much now that denying truth would be foolish of us, because I'm sure it's pretty obvious why. Truth must be true throughout, if it be true. It cannot contradict itself, nor be in parts uncertain and in others sure. Meaning, God can't be sure of you, his son, but also judgmental of you, because that is contradictory, meaning one of those faces of God must be false. Which one is false? The part of God that loves you and knows who you are, or the part of God that is going to judge you whenever the time comes? Which one is false? One of them must be false, because truth, there is no contradiction, meaning God is only love and light, or God is only judgmental. You cannot choose any other options, or there cannot be any overlap between those two options, either one or the other. And in our right mind right now, it is common sense that God is only love and light. And anyone who believes that God is love and light, but also judgmental, a little bit judgmental, they are wishful thinking, because that can never be. It is the individuals who are judgmental themselves, identifying with the body and the ego, projecting all their judgment on ideas and people and places and things, and they think of God, they think of their source, they think of their father, they think of their creator, and they cannot conceive of a creator that is different from them. Now, that is true. They are correct. Our source and our father and our creator cannot be different from us. However, they are confused in who they think they are. Meaning, if they knew who they really were, they would understand that, yes, our source is no different than us, but it is opposite. There's individuals out there who believe that they are this insignificant body and they are judging everything they see, and they believe that God is going to judge them, and that is just furthest from the truth. They are judging themselves, and whenever they stop judging and they allow truth to re-enter into their minds, and only then, whenever that occurs, can they see that they have simply just been mistaken for what truth is. And then from there, they can go about either accepting truth or continue to deny it. But you can never obliterate truth, you can never change truth. It is just what is. You cannot walk the world apart from God, because you could not be without God. He is what your life is. Where you are, He is. There is one life. That life you share with Him. Nothing can be apart from God and live. Yet, where God is, there must be holiness as well as life. No attribute of Him remains unshared by everything that lives. What lives is holy as Himself, because what shares His life is part of holiness, and could no more be sinful than the sun could choose to be of ice, the sea elect to be apart from water, or the grass to grow with roots suspended in the air. Beautiful imagery, don't you think? There is a light in you which cannot die, whose presence is so holy that the world is sanctified because of you. All things that live bring gifts to you and offer them in gratitude and gladness at your feet. The scent of flowers is their gift to you. The waves bow down before you, and the trees extend their arms to shield you from the heat, and lay their leaves before you on the ground, that you may walk in softness, while the wind sinks to a whisper round your holy head. This is some beautiful imagery, and I've never even seen the world as it just presented to us before. But whenever you see that all of this here is for you, you can experience it at a deeper level. The problem here with our lives that we're living and our experience that we're living is not that it is not enough. It is that me and you don't know who we really are. Therefore, we don't know what anything else really is, and we can't experience the fullness that is emerging forth from every atom of our being. Meaning, we're outside and we're seeing the grass and the trees and the wind and the waves, and we're like, I need to go to work, I need to do this, I gotta make this much amount of money, I need to call this person, oh, this person's bothering me, I'm having these problems. All this illusion, this clutter, this dialogue in our mind that is not of God is what is going on in our minds, while this beautiful experience is right beneath our eyes that we can have. I'm going to read it one more time so you can see what you have been missing out on whenever you are in the presence of what is there all the time. Me and you have been missing out on this experience because our minds are preoccupied with an illusion. All things that live bring gifts to you and offer them in gratitude and gladness at your feet. The scent of the flowers is their gift to you. The waves bow down before you, and the trees extend their arms to shield you from the heat, and lay their leaves before you on the ground, that you may walk in softness, while the wind sinks to a whisper round your holy head. All of that is there for you to experience, and you hop in your car and you blast music to keep your mind clouded, and you go to work or you go do whatever it is that you feel like you have to do. Now, these are just bulky analogies that I'm using here, but you know that there are things in your life that you have given value to, that you value so much. All your attention goes to that illusion, that external thing outside of you, and you're missing the beauty that is right beneath your eyes. Me and you have such beautiful lives right now that we can transform, meaning we're not going to do nothing to change something, but we are going to transform our perception of the life that we currently have so we can see the beauty in it. And only then can our world evolve into something more, because only then will we see that we are the choosers. If we don't like what we are living for any reason, we can change that. But before you can change that, it must require you to see the situation differently. That's it. If you are in one situation, right, and you are vibrating lack, I don't want to be here, and you do some physical action and work hard to get a new environment, a new job, or a new position or career or whatever it is that you're looking for, if you may accomplish that goal of yours by taking action, but what you're going to find out is because you didn't change your vibration, you are going to be in this new place and you're still going to feel unfulfilled, and you're going to feel like not enough, and you're not going to want to be here for very long. But before taking all that action, if you were to make peace with where you're at right now and to see all the beauty that exists right there and heal your perception, then if you take action from that state of mind and you receive impulses on what to do and where to go and what to say and to whom, then you would be in this position where you're in an even more preferred environment, and you're going to be at peace there because you changed your vibration. You attract what you are emanating forth from your being. You are going to receive experiences, situations, and events and people that are going to match where your current vibrational set point is. Meaning, if you're at lack, you're going to get more of that because that's all you're going to see. If I have, and we're going to use these glasses for example, if I have red glasses on and I'm looking at the world with the red lenses, I'm only going to see red. And whenever I decide to take those glasses off and I see with the real vision, then everything else will reflect that as well, and we will make decisions based out of that clear mind. The problem with most people, including ourselves from time to time, is we are seeing from the red glasses, from the fear, from the illusion, and we are taking action from that state of mind, and we are receiving, there is opportunities right in front of our face, but we're acting from the ego, out of neediness, out of all of those egotistical thoughts. We're acting from that state of mind, and we miss out on opportunities. We are holding ourselves in a position where we don't want to be, because where we don't want to be is, and that is an illusion in itself. It is all our perception. Let's get that straight here. There's not too much talking we have to do from here on out, because it is simple fact that whenever you change your perception, everything outside of you will change. And waiting for something outside of you to change, or trying to make something change outside of you before changing your internal set point, is going against the grain, and you are working against yourself, because although you may make some results, you're going to find out very soon that you're going to feel the same because nothing internally changed. So let's go ahead and pull the weeds out from its root so that way they don't keep growing back. What we are essentially doing by trying to make something happen is we are cutting the weeds, right? We are mowing the lawn, but we didn't pull the root from its source, meaning it's going to continue to emerge, and there's going to be more weeds and more weeds and more weeds each season. But if we go ahead and do what we're doing now, which is remove the weeds completely from the root, it can no longer grow back. The light is in you. The light in you is what the universe longs to behold. All living things are still before you, for they recognize who walks with you. The light you carry is their own, and thus they see in you their holiness, saluting you as a savior and as God. Accept their reverence, for it is due to holiness itself. which walks with you, transforming in its gentle light all things unto its likeness and its purity. This is the way salvation works. As you step back, the light in you steps forward and encompasses the world. It heralds not the end of sin in punishment and death. In lightness and in laughter is sin gone, because its quaint absurdity is seen. It is a foolish thought, a silly dream, not frightening, ridiculous perhaps, but who would waste an instant in approach to God himself for such a sinless whim? Yet you have wasted many years on just this foolish thought. The past is gone, with all its fantasies. They keep you bound no longer. The approach to God is near, and in the little interval of doubt that still remains, you may perhaps lose sight of your companion and mistake him for the senseless, ancient dream that now is past. Who walks with me? This is the question. This question should be asked 1,000 times a day, till certainty has ended doubting and established peace. Who walks with me? Who walks with me is a powerful question me and you need to ask 1,000 times a day until me and you are certain that all doubting has ended and we know who walks with us. Most of the time, we think we walk alone whenever there's not another body with us. We do not walk alone. Me and you walk with God. God is everywhere we go, even if we're not aware of it. Today, let doubting cease. God speaks for you in answering your questions with these words. I walk with God in perfect holiness. I light the world. I light my mind and all the minds which God created one with me. Powerful. Me and you light the minds which God created one with us. Me and you are one mind. I may appear like I'm this body, you may appear like you're that body, but in truth we are one mind. And whenever I, this part of mind, am enlightened and knowingness, then you are going to receive that knowingness as well. Everyone is benefited by me and you doing the internal work that we are doing here, and me and you again play a very essential role in God's plan for salvation, meaning me and you play a very essential role in the waking up of all that is. So let's go ahead and conclude right there. Let's go ahead and remember to ask ourselves 1,000 times today, who walks with me? And anytime you fall asleep in the illusion, that is a tool that you now have in your mental arsenal to use if you are aware enough to use in times of need. Be aware. I'm sure you're at the point now that you know when you're not awake and you know when you are. You are at the point now where you are at peace and you know it, and you are in fear and upset and you know it. And I'm sure and I am positive that you are at the point now where you are upset and you know it and you do something about it, because if you do something about it, is going to be the reason why something changes. If you continue to reside in those fearful emotions, believing that that is just what life is, then you are going to be unfulfilled and you're going to not be of benefit to yourself or anyone else, and there's no need for that. But I'm sure, again, you're at the point now where you do something about changing that, meaning I'm going to release all thoughts from my mind right now and meditate. I'm going to silence my mind. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to go make some music. I'm going to go paint a picture. I'm going to go play. I'm going to go have some fun. I'm going to go do something that will put me back in a state of knowingness. And then from there, then will I try to make stuff happen, because trying to make something happen out of lack is going to yield more results from the state of mind that I took the action from. If I take action from a state of mind of lack, I will receive results that are lackful. If I take actions out of a state of mind that is abundant, I will receive abundant results. Now, this has been a beautiful lesson. Let's conclude right there, and we will meet here again tomorrow for lesson 157 of A Course in Miracles. I will see you there.